age of 18 years. This means that Nigeria has a majorly youthful population, which is lower than the African and world estimates of 20 and 29 years respectively. So, what does this mean? The quantum of the youth population is a great asset for the Nigerian state if they're harnessed and utilized in the right direction. They have the power to develop the country and move her towards progress. On the other hand, due to their critical mass, their inaction or negative behavior can also destroy the fabrics of society. This is evident in the daily reports on the incidences of crime in the newspapers, on social media, the television, and the radio. When you look at the demography of those involved in social vices, such as terrorism, civil unrests, armed robberies, drugs, kidnappings, trafficking of whatever kind, majority of the culprits are between these age bands. Also, they are the ones that are mostly involved in migration through illegal and dangerous routes to leave the country. They're also the major targets for those who want to carry out nefarious activities because of their strength and youthfulness. A case in point is one young man who was arrested exactly 20 days ago on the 4th of April 2021 at the Murtala Mohammed Airport. He had ingested a total of 113 wraps of cocaine weighing 1.75 kilograms with a street value put at 423 million naira. It's imperative that our youths channel their energies towards activities that can build this country through constructive and positive endeavors rather than those that will destroy it. I know that the economic condition of the country isn't as it should be. And this is why many youths are taking the option of crime and migration to perceived greener pastures. However, you and I know that resorting to criminal behaviors isn't the answer. Secondly, we all can't leave the country. But if we all work towards building the nation through positive, creative, and productive activities, we can make this country a better place to live in. Our pursuit at the Rose of Sharon Foundation is to change this current narrative and provide tools for Nigerian youths to develop themselves and harness their skills so they can provide for themselves, their families, and also develop the country. This is because any society that prepares and develops its youths for the future won't only secure her future development, but they'll also have a pipeline of leaders for the future. I know it might not sound like a cliche in your ears when I say this, but it's still the truth that our youths are truly the leaders of the future. Therefore, the youths have a greater role to play in national development. It's been suggested that Nigeria could, by 2030, reap the benefits of what some call a demographic dividend if it invests now in human development of its people, especially its youths. I also believe that the future of Nigeria lies in our youths and not on natural resources alone. To do justice to the topic of today, we have invited seasoned individuals who have distinguished themselves in their chosen fields to share their experiences with you. These are Mrs. Funke Oga. She has over 35 years of experience in the media industry and retired as an Assistant Director News, Nigerian Television Authority (NTA). She's the founder of A Smile on Their Faces initiative, an NGO that caters to the needs of special children and their caregivers. Then there's Dr. Joe Mekiliwa, who has over 30 years of experience as a business consultant. He's the technical advisor to MFDQ Group and non-executive director of MFDQ Depository Limited. He's the principal consultant of Joe Mekiliwa Consulting Services Limited. Mr. Temitope Jegede has over 18 years of experience in administration, human resources, sales, marketing, and entrepreneurship. He's a strategic partner and a senior consultant with Tom Associates Limited for over 9 years. He's also the Chief Executive Officer of 320 EPH Limited, a technology development company. I thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to contribute to the development of our youths and our dear country, Nigeria. And I pray that God will continually bless your endeavor in Jesus' name. To all the online and on-site participants, I urge you to commit to making the most of all you will learn this afternoon. This is because it has the potential to change your life for the better. Once again, I welcome you all to today's session. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that warm welcome. It is well appreciated. You know, when our mommy was talking, she said something about the development of a country. And she said, the development of a country lies in the creativity of its youths. And that's one of the reasons why we're here today. Because creativity goes beyond just sitting or just getting educated. It has to do with thinking outside the box. And Rose of Sharon Foundation is a foundation that is focused on helping youth to think outside the box. She also said the future of Nigeria lies in the hands of the youth, and we are the youth. We are here to make the difference. Now, as we go into the business of the day, I'm going to do a physical presentation of our speakers, though they've been introduced by the founder, but I want to make a physical presentation of them. To my right, I have Mr. Temitope Jegede. Mr. Temitope Jegede is a strategic partner and a senior consultant with Tom's Associates Limited. You're welcome, sir. We're glad to have you. To my left, I have Dr. Joe Mekiliwa, the principal consultant, Joe Mekiliwa Consulting Services Limited. You're welcome, sir. Virtually, we'll be having Mrs. Funke Oga joining us virtually. She's the CEO, A Smile on Their Faces initiative, an NGO that caters for children with special needs and their caregivers. They are here to do justice to the team we have ahead of us. I want to believe we have our pens and jotters because we are here to learn. And the faintest pen is better than the sharpest brain because we need to put down one or two things. And as our speakers will be talking, I want to encourage us. A number will be scrolling on the screen. Please feel free to send in your questions. No calls, please. Text messages and WhatsApp. We'll get your questions and they will be thoroughly addressed by the speakers. Now let's sit up, fasten our seatbelts as the flight is about getting more interesting. Now, I was looking at the topic. Nigerian youth as a tool of national development. And the question I asked myself is that what is the contribution of Nigerian youth to this development? Mr. Temitope Jegede, I think you want to do justice to that question.
Yes, thank you very much. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and excited to be with you on this platform. A respectful thanks to our host, Apostle Folorunsho Alakija, and the management of the Rose of Sharon Foundation for the invitation and for the awesome work that you are doing in this country, empowering the Nigerian youth. May the Lord reward you in Jesus' name. Now, the theme for this particular program today, the Nigerian youth as a tool for national development. And my own particular assignment is to speak on the contributions of the Nigerian youth, the contributions of the Nigerian youth to national development. I'm hoping that at the end of this session, you will understand the significance of the Nigerian youth to national development, and then you will also identify your role and contribution to national development. Let me start with some questions. I would have loved to have the questions as a poll for us to analyze, but while you, wherever you're listening in from, and for those in this hall, please ponder on these questions. Number one, do you really believe in the future of Nigeria? Do you really believe in the future of Nigeria? Yes or no? Or maybe not really. Number two, are you able to describe your emotional and mental connection to Nigeria? Your emotional and mental connection to Nigeria. Would you say excellent, very good, good, fair, poor, or very poor? You can answer that. Number three, do you think that you have a critical role to play in Nigeria's development? Do you think in your little corner that you have a critical role to play in Nigeria's development? The answer could be yes, no, or maybe. Now, it's important to note that your emotional and mental connection to Nigeria will come as a product of your perspective and experiences so far. And I respect that. I respect at times the frustration that we feel as Nigerian youth about the happenings, the lack of opportunities, the challenges. Some of us inherited these challenges, the debt burden. We didn't sign up for these problems. And these issues, they have formed our experiences and the perceptions that we have about Nigeria. But let me quickly share a popular story with you. There is a story of two children from the same father. I'll call the man Mr. Ijewuru. Mr. Ijewuru was notorious, irresponsible, popularly considered as an infidel in the society. But these two children turned out differently over the years. One of them turned out to be a professional, a responsible professional. He became a professor of medicine. He was responsible to his family. He was responsible to his circles of influence and to the nation at large. The second child turned out the opposite, exactly like his father. He was irresponsible. He was an infidel also. And these two children were asked the question, can you tell us the reason for your outcome in life? And guess what? They both gave the same response. The reason for the outcome was their father. So the first child said, every time I remember my father, I challenge myself to be better. I tell myself I do not want to end up like him. So I'm successful because of my father. The second child said the same thing. Every time I remember my father, I realize how hopeless my situation is. So I simply followed his blueprint. Nigeria, we can say, is the father. You, which of these two children do you want to end up like? Do you want to look at the issues and remain discouraged, complaining about the lack of opportunities? Or will you creatively create the opportunities for yourself? You have a choice, and that's something to think about. The youth of Nigeria, as said earlier by our host, we are the backbone of the nation, the most powerful force within this nation. We provide the hope for the future, and we can define the destiny of this country. Now, this statistic was shared earlier. 70% of the Nigeria's population is under the age of 30. That is a huge bulge. That is a bulge that represents both a challenge and an opportunity for national development. So what role will you play? Will you play the role of the first child, seeing opportunities and choosing your own outcome to contribute to Nigeria, or you will see the issues, the problems, and then choose otherwise? My advice for you today is to be like that first child. You choose to create a path of integrity, a path of creativity and innovation, and find a place to plug in and add value to Nigeria. I'll share with us some examples of Nigerian youth that are making impact across different sectors in this country. But it's not important for us to quickly define national development, just so that we put a context to what we are talking about. National development is the sustainable growth and development of a nation. The sustainable growth and development of a nation. It is people-oriented, and its success is evaluated in terms of the impact it has had on improving the lot of the masses. So the question for you is, what contribution do you have to make to improve the living condition of Nigerians anywhere you find yourself? According to the federal government report of 1980, in defining the concept, the third National Development Plan of 1980 says that true development must mean the development of man. The development of man, of course, woman also, the unfolding and realization of his creative potentials, enabling him to improve his material conditions of living using resources available to him. And we know without any doubt that we have resources in this country. The question is, are we exploring the full potential of our resources, including talent? So let me delve into 3 areas that I think you can contribute to national development. Number 1, you can be an agent that will promote unity and peace in Nigeria. Promoting unity and peace in Nigeria. The youth must act as a catalyst in fostering togetherness and unity to help Nigeria realize its developmental aspirations. The youth can play a leading role in bringing together people of different and diverse regions and create emotional, cultural, and mental bonds. We must break away from the divisive mindset of tribalism, ethnicity, cultural barriers, and religious divides. For us to exploit the potential of this country, we must see everybody as one. We must leverage our intellectual values and stop all the intrigues of ethnicity that our fathers sowed. We must think differently if we want to move Nigeria forward. Number 2, we must get involved in the political space. We must get involved in the political space. Look at the percentage again. 70% of Nigeria under the age of 30. Imagine that we all vote for people that can really move this country forward. Competent people. People with new mindsets that can challenge the status quo and chart a new path for the Nigeria that we all dream of. The youth has a greater responsibility to promote peace, security, stability, and national unity. Can we all get involved in the political space by registering in political parties? If I ask now, how many of us belong to any political party? Do we even know the manifestos of the political parties? And these are people that will decide the future that we all dream of. Get politically educated and enlightened. Involve in policy advocacy. No matter how brilliant you are, the policy makers will provide the environment for those brilliants to thrive. So we better know what they are talking about at the Senate, at the House of Assembly. We better know what the ministers are doing and sponsor policies, advocate policies that are progressive, that can move this nation forward. Be actively involved in the electoral process. Refuse to be bribed during elections. It's so sad that during the last election, many of the youth, 5,000 naira, 2,005, were changing and selling the future of this country. We must say no to that. We must build bridges of understanding across ethnic groups, across political affiliations and religious divide. Democracy and good governance can only be nurtured and sustained in an environment of peace, security, and stability. Where these are lacking, it is not only democracy and governance that suffer, but also social progress and the future of the youth is seriously compromised. Thirdly, and this is the most important for me personally, the need to self-educate and be innovative. The need for the Nigerian youth to self-educate and be innovative. According to the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, self-education is the future. Self-education is the future. But what kind of education are we talking about? And this is my own quote, personal quote. I normally will say that the future belongs to those who have the capacity to learn, the humility to unlearn, and the audacity to relearn. I'll take it again. The future belongs to those who have the capacity to learn. So you must be an addicted learner. The humility to unlearn, unlearning dogmas and things that are not progressive or new realities, and the audacity to relearn. The abundance of the natural resources such as we have in Nigeria, oil and several minerals, and even talent, mean little or nothing unless we can creatively and by using innovation and expanding value add to whatever it is that we have in terms of talent and resources. Unless the youth unlock their creative geniuses, the future remains dark and Nigeria cannot fulfill its immense potentials. When you self-educate, that is, when you educate your mind and grow your own capacity, you break all mental and environmental conditions against your own development and then the development of the nation. When you self-educate yourself, you break all mental barriers, and then you can emerge and fulfill your own potential, and then by extension, you will contribute to national development. For example, but for self-education, I have no business to be on this platform sharing with you. The odds were stacked against me. The seventh child of 7 living in a single room in Ekpetedo, Lagos Island. Ekpetedo, Lagos Island. Those that know Lagos Island know Ekpetedo. And you know what Ekpetedo is like. That's where I grew up. When I conceived the idea of a tertiary institution, the familiar phrase that was echoed to me, Duro legbe jegede babae, I will interpret. Duro legbe is actually a saying in Yoruba language. When you say jegede, it means don't aspire for anything serious in life. Imagine. So I heard that severally. Duro legbe jegede babae. But the interpretation, just stay in your own comfort zone, in your own little corner. Don't aspire for anything, including tertiary education. But I challenge myself. I had to create a clear vision for myself and worked day by day by aggressive learning and continuous development to challenge the status quo, and I was able to break all barriers against my advancement, and I'm still doing that till today. There are many examples of young Nigerians who stopped complaining and self-educated them into relevance. They solve and they are still solving national problems, societal problems, and they are contributing to national development. For example, Venture Garden is a data-driven automation company founded by 3 young Nigerians, average age of 28. The company focuses on big data, automation, and revenue assurance systems, and has taken innovation to new levels. One of the subsidiaries of Venture Garden Group, Paystack, provides automation for the national power grid, which now allows real-time monitoring of energy flow from generation to distribution and payment to all parties to promote transparency and sustainability of the electricity market. There is also Paystack. How many of us know Paystack? How many of us know Paystack in this room? How many of us know Flutterwave? What do we know about Paystack? What problem are they solving? They are solving payment problems across all platforms in Nigeria. How old were the founders of Paystack? They were in their 30s, 30 years when they started Paystack. 2 Nigerian companies, Thrive Agric and Farmer Crowdy, set up by young Nigerians under the age of 35, are also great examples of service providers that help small-scale farmers to scale up and access valuable training, and all of this done through crowdfunding. In medicine and healthcare, there is LifeBank, founded by a young lady. The company uses drone technology to facilitate blood delivery to various health centers. We could also highlight another called 54Gene, a firm that is harnessing genomic data from Africa DNA to revolutionize the drug industry. How about in the legal space? We also have Law Pavilion, founded by a young man also. The company's digital tools help lawyers to do legal research quickly and efficiently, and even answer legal questions. These are all examples of young people finding opportunities in this country to solve problems and improve their own lives and the life of people around them. The question is, your own talent, what are you doing with it? Are you going to find opportunities to educate yourself around your talent and bring out that genius inside you to solve a problem for this country? And by that, you solve your own problem also. There is truly something for everyone in our future. Leverage digital technology, especially the social media and other platforms, to build a customer base, gain momentum, and advance companies. You can write a blog, create a website to sell your goods and services, or even sell your ideas. Whatever you are good at. People are operating full-fledged commercial businesses on Instagram without ever setting foot in a physical store, thanks to the internet. We are an entrepreneurial people, a multitasking community that, thanks to a virtual economy, can transform a potential opportunity into a real opportunity. How do you use your skills, the ones you have presently, to advance Nigeria? What we do about our interests and how we sell what we are passionate about to millions of people around the world will determine the future of this country. Today's education must be based on employability, the kind of education that prepares us to be active members of society. So can we stop complaining and find a way that we can all add value to Nigeria? In conclusion, self-sacrifice for the sake of all is a road to greatness. Mandela is amazing because he dedicated his youth as well as his legal practice to fight against appetite and for a South Africa that treats all people equally. Martin Luther King is remembered for giving up everything for the dream of a country where no one is judged by the color of their skin, but by the quality of their character. Mother Teresa, a Catholic nun, rose to prominence because of the many years she spent caring for lepers in Calcutta leprosy settlement, the neglected and the untouchable. In the words of Idowu Koyeneka, your pride for your country should not come after your country becomes great. Your country becomes great because of your pride in it. I'll take it again. Your pride for your country should not come after your country becomes great. Your country becomes great because of your pride in it. I wish you well. God bless you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Mr. Timothy. That was quite impactful, and we appreciate it. Now, if I have to reiterate one or two things that he said something about we creating a path for ourselves. What path have you decided to create for yourself? Is it a path of integrity, like he said? Is it a path to add value to the country? Or we'll all just sit back and keep complaining? And he also mentioned something about self-educate. Self-educate. And for me, that meant a lot. And he expatiated a lot on it. But right now, I'm going to invite Mrs. Funke Oga to throw more light on what education is when it comes to the national development. What exactly is the role of the Nigerian education when it comes to the issue of national development? Mrs. Funke Oga will take up this part. Thank you. Wait, Mrs. Funke Oga to come on board. We will take on Dr. Jobe Kiloa. Now, listening to what Mr. Temitope Jegede said, it is obvious that there are challenges, there are opportunities. And the question I ask myself is, what is the way forward? Like I said, that when he wanted to go to school, the question, what he was told was, why not just maintain your low key? Why are you stretching your hand where you cannot, where your hand cannot get to? Now, in the midst of these challenges, because I'm sure that our participants online and the participants on site will be asking themselves questions. Oh, you have said all of this. We have heard this over and over again. What is the way forward? What do I do? How do I harness this talent inside of me? How do I harness this opportunity? Dr. Joe Mekilua will give clarity on that. Way forward, way out of these challenges, these opportunities, how do we connect to it? Please.
Thank you. Once again, we thank God for the hosts and the management of Rose of Sharon Foundation. As a youth, you are young. You have age advantage. You have energy advantage. You are more opportuned than those who are already halfway in their journey of life. Begin to think how you can change the narrative. The youth own the future. They should be involved in the decisions that affect their future. The last speaker mentioned the need for you to be involved in politics. Think about it. 20 years to come, our current leaders will no longer be relevant. The stage will be for you. What are you doing and planning for that future? By way of introduction also, I want to let you know that many that are successful today, many that are wealthy today, were once unsuccessful. They were once poor. But their lives changed by the reason of their subsequent choices and decisions of life. That implies that your life also can change. Make right choices and do the right thing. Definitely, your life will change. Many who were disadvantaged in the past, many who were handicapped in the past, are today successful. Why? Because they did not dwell. They did not dwell on their handicap nor their disadvantaged situation. They rose above those challenges and decided to make a change. Despite the handicap, despite the disadvantaged position they were in the past, today they are successful. I want to advise and encourage the youth that there is hope for you. Let us have a look at the ladder of life. It's like a triangle. The base is wider, is not. The base is crowded in the ladder of life. But the more you continue to skill up, the more you continue to acquire skills and develop yourself, you will leave many behind. And just like the triangle is, you can see that it becomes narrower as you climb up. So, you have lesser people to compete with in the ladder of life, as you skill up, as you acquire knowledge, as you develop yourself. The principles I'll be sharing, I applied them when I was a teenager, and it has helped me in life. Don't forget, the ladder of life. Skill up, develop yourself, acquire knowledge, and you become somebody that people have no choice but to deal with you. Anyone that ignores you will lose, because you would have become too relevant to be ignored in life. Each time, imagine that ladder of life, that as you climb, you become closer. You have lesser people to compete with in life. Use as tools for national development. You must prepare your mind for the future. And I speak to leaders. We must prepare the youth to recognize their roles in the tasks of national development. Thank God for what is happening in the roles of Shalom Foundation, preparing you to recognize your potentials. We become leaders not overnight. We become leaders by becoming good followers in order to learn the arts of leadership. But I want to say, it is not enough for the society to expect the youth to be good followers. Our leaders must be followable. They must show good examples to our youth so that our youth can learn the arts of leadership. What are the opportunities we have as youth? I want to say that there are 5 gold mines every youth has. 5 gold mines. When I was struggling as a teenager, God opened my eyes to this. One is your creative mind. You can think your way out of unemployment. You can think your way out of poverty. You can think your way out of that situation that you are in, because God has given us what? The creative mind. The second gold mine you have is the talent you have. Everyone is a bundle of talents. And I'm going to make a statement here. When 4 people have the same talents, what differentiates the 4 is how you develop your own talent into a skill. So it is the skill that differentiates Mr. A from Mr. B and from Mr. C. Look inward and discover the talent you have. That is the investment God has put in you for your own breakthrough in life. Because he knows that many of us may not come from well-to-do families. So God placed in every human being talents as an investment in him or her for personal development and self-reliance in life. Another one among the 5 gold mines is your human spirit, which is your real person. And that is the nature of God in you. We are spirit. We have a soul, which is the seat of your thoughts, emotions, and intellect. And you live in the body, which is the carton. Your spirit man is that nature of God in you. Though corrupted, but the nature is still in you. And that is the seat of inspiration from God. That is why we dream, ideas come, is from that seat of inspiration, your spirit man. And that comes and flows into your mind. And you start dwelling on such inspiration. Your relationship with your Creator is another good mind. Because before you came to this world, your life has been planned. There is no one that came to this world by mistake. Your relationship with your God, He will back you up to fulfill your destiny. And as youth, there are 3 phases of life. To any human being on earth. The 3 phases are: 1, your grooming phase; 2, your ending phase; and 3, your resting phase. I'll start with the grooming phase. The grooming phase is that phase where, like we have been told, you seek for knowledge. You equip yourself with skills, preparing yourself for tomorrow. Those skills you acquire are part of your wealth. Somebody can destroy your building, destroy your property, but the skill you've acquired remains in you. It's part of your wealth. And that is why when life changes, and you see some people losing everything they have, but because you have developed yourself and acquired skill, you can come back to life again because the skills are there. Having acquired your skill, and acquiring skill is a lifetime journey. You don't graduate from it. You keep on acquiring one skill or the other. Acquiring one skill or the other. Preparing yourself for the future. And as you now begin to earn, which is the earning phase, remember that you don't earn forever. Many today, if they should tell you the amount of money that have passed through their hands, today they are suffering because they mismanage their earning phase. Having acquired skill and you have deployed them into income-yielding ventures and opportunities, remember, when money starts flowing, sit back and know that money will not continue to flow in forever. And as you are earning, begin to save and invest. Begin to save and invest. Because those investments will speak for you when you retire. And your investments will now be earning for you. That is like money working for you when you would have been resting. We have a lot of opportunities as youth. The population we have as a country is a ready market for any venture to thrive. Do you know that? I always tell myself, that with the kind of population we have in Lagos, with the kind of population we have in Nigeria, it's already a ready market. So nobody should say that he or she is idle. Which means start thinking your way out of poverty. What can I do since there is a ready market already in this country by virtue of the population? We have our youth who are IT savvy. Just like last speaker said, a lot can happen. You don't need to have brick and mortar office space. A lot can happen even from your phone. Businesses are going on online. Training online. Digital marketing online. We have a lot of opportunities. I want to share the equation of life. Because I was the kind of person, as a teenager, there was no money for me to go to the university. I looked left and right, nowhere. If I had a story of somebody who wrote a letter to God, I was outward. Because I didn't know what to do again. I've prayed all manner of prayer. I have to write a letter, full envelope, full scalp, and enveloped it, and addressed the envelope to the Almighty God in heaven. By 12 midnight in tears, I asked myself, if I go to the post office, can they take this letter to God? How would they post it? In tears, I took a match and burned the letter, crying to God. Waiting 7 days, opportunity came. A man told me, can you teach my children for 14 naira a month? Initially, I said no, but God said, take it. You want to go to school? Take it. I took that family 14 naira a month. After about 3 months again, another family 15 naira a month. I'm telling you that I used 90 naira a month to train myself as a computer scientist from University of Benin. 90 naira a month. No more, no less. 4 years, 2 trousers. 4 years, 2 shirts. 4 years, 1 sandal. 4 years, no fish, no meat. I eat without for 4 years. 4 years, trekking from War campus to Ikewa campus to teach those two families' children to earn 19 naira, 14 naira here, 15 naira here to go to the university. To the glory of God, I have 3 master's degrees. I'm a PhD holder. Nobody trained me. No society, no father, no mother, no uncle. But to let you know that you can change the story of your life with God backing you. I'm telling you what I experienced, not what somebody else experienced. And how did I arrive at that? When I was thinking, how will I go to school? God gave me this formula. A plus B plus C equals to success in life. And a thought came. A represents your background, your upbringing, your family, your foundation. So A can be 0. It can be negative. But B is your own personal effort to succeed. Your determination to succeed. Your willingness to succeed. It is not enough to say determination and willingness. It must be backed up with action. Backed up with what? Action. And I said, okay. So my family background 0. I don't have anybody, so A is out. Negative foundation, yeah. But so B is me. my own determination to succeed, my own effort to succeed. And C is the God factor. So I head on to my desire to succeed and hold on to God. That was how I started the journey of my life without anybody. It is when you are suffering that people will write you off. They will never think you can become anything in life. But after you've arrived, you will now see many uncles, many aunties, many brothers and sisters. So I head on to personal development, skilling up. And that was how, after my first degree in computer science, Uniben, I went to Unilag for my master's degree in computer science. Do you know why I did that master's degree? Because I don't have anybody. And then, if you have master's degree, you can lecture. I said, okay, so let me have master's degree so that if I don't have anybody, at least I can lecture. That was how the journey of life started. To the glory of God, I've come to realize that when God says he is the one that gives you power to get wet, God does not give you wet. He only gives you power to get wet. You are the one that will get the wet. You are the one that will do things for wet to come. He empowers you by divine health. He empowers you by giftings, by skill, by talent. But you are the one to go for the wealth. By solving problems of life. By delivering services and products for people to patronize you. And money will come. I want to tell you that you need to take your life as your personal project. Don't leave your life in the hand of somebody else. Make up your mind and see your life as a personal project. Not the project of the government. Not the project of your father, your mother. They only support. But you must see your life as your personal project. These are the things I head on to till today. That my life is my project. Personal project. So you discover your talents. You develop marketable skills. You prepare for the future. Because future is a prepared place for the prepared people. And that is why when that opportunity comes, you're not prepared for it. It will be too bad. I retired from Stock Exchange, Central Security Clearance System. If you heard of CSCS, I was part of the main person that set up. And do you know what? There was a time I saw somebody, a school start that was very good in computer, and he was employed. He worked for many years. And I was now planning to make this guy to be promoted to executive assistant position, thinking that he was a graduate. After all the approvals and all, and I said, can I have your CV? I found out that he was a school start. I said, but all these years, you have been working with this computer. You'll be earning money. There have been a lot of part-time schools. Even Yabatek and a lot of part-time schools. All these years, you didn't acquire anything. Now, opportunity has come for you to move to the next level at a graduate level. You mean you have only school certs? Meanwhile, the MD has approved. I haven't talked to him that we need to move you to graduate assistant. I said, well, I can't help you. That level is for graduates. You have seen many of your mates attending evening lessons, part-time courses. After 4 years, they are graduates. All these years. What I'm trying to let you know is that there are opportunities in the future, but you don't know when the opportunity will come. Your duty is to prepare for that opportunity because one day it will come. It's only God that has control of the times and the opportunity. You don't have. Your duty is to prepare for that opportunity. Do you know that that time I was suffering, I even went for police election. And I was taken to be to become a policeman. But an uncle of, a cousin of mine said, why? Is it because of this wahala of no money to go to school? If I had taken that route, I've traveled to more than 50 countries of the world during my career life. Would I have been able to achieve that? No. So I had to hide to go to police selection. Eventually, somebody discouraged me. That's another thing I want to let you know, that in the journey of life, God brings people to your way. Thank God for Rose Foundation. God brings them to your way to guide you. If not that person that advised me, I would have joined the police force. Only God knows where I would have been today. So, you are blessed to be here and to be enjoying what this foundation is doing. Because it's to chart your life, to make you to think differently, because there is hope for you. Finally, two things now. We should learn to manage change. There is a particular change that you may not have control of, like we have pandemics and all that. There are many of such. But there is a change that you have control of. One of those is that you can decide to change your friends if they will not lead you to a better future. You can decide to change your lifestyle for tomorrow. You can decide to change your sleeping habit, your TV watching habit, because you have a better plan for your life. Those guys that are smiling and laughing on telly, they are not doing it free. Money is flowing into their pocket. And some people will sit down, giggling, watching them. Plan your life, because opportunities will always come. You don't know when it will come. So you have a change you can make yourself, which is within your control. You leave the ones you cannot change yourself to God and to the nation, to the leaders. Inflation is there. It's within your, outside your control. Increase in house rent is outside your control. But you can do something. You can improve your income earning. That even if a loaf of bread is 500 naira or 1,000, you will be able to afford it. Instead of fasting and praying, the landlord will not increase his rent. And that a loaf of bread will come back to 50 naira. Fasting and praying for a landlord not to increase his rent. Rather, what can you do to increase your income capacity level? So that even if a loaf of bread is 2,000, you can afford it. That is why we are here. To skill up, to develop yourself, to prepare for a change that may come. And that change can be the cost of things rising. I will conclude now by saying, man is designed to depend on 4 sources for sustainability. 1 is the God factor. 2 is yourself. Invest in yourself. In my house, I have more than 1,000 books. Yes, I have more than 1,000 books. I've written about 6 or so, but I have more than 1,000 books. A month, I must read at least 2 books a month. It is something I made up my mind that when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to getting out of poverty, considering what I passed through, for 4 years, no fish, no meat, eating once in a day. So I developed skills. I read all manner of degrees of international law and everything, apart from my computer, just to make sure anywhere job comes, I can do. Invest in yourself. Don't forget yourself. Even when you are helping brothers and sisters, don't forget yourself. Because when that income is no more coming, people will make a year of you. Prepare for tomorrow. Third one is that you need people in the journey of your life. Be mindful how you treat people that come your way, because they may be God sent. Rose of Sharon Foundation is God sent on your way. And finally, your environment. This idea of running away out of the country will not solve it. Look at your environment. There are opportunities. Key into those opportunities, your life will change. There are businesses you can do. When I was serving as a copper, then I was preparing that after my youth service, I'll go to Unilag for my master's degree. I attached myself to somebody that had shop, provision shop. I'll go to Daleko, buy a bag of rice and put in that shop. Go to my 12, buy yam. Then yam was 50 naira. I'll be selling it 1 naira. 50 kobo, I'll be selling it 1 naira. I'll put in her shop. When I return from my youth service, whatever, I will join her to be selling my rice and to be selling my yam. As a copper, I was not ashamed of anything. But I'm thinking of my master's degree. I need money. So it was that yam money and the rice money that I saved. From my youth service money, I was able to pay my school fees in Unilag for my master's program because it's a full-time. I could remember one day at Daleko, I told the malam to carry the bag of rice for me to the bus stop where I would enter bus. The amount he charged me was too much. I said, Malam, please, can you help me lift it up? He said, lift it up to where now? I said, to my head. He said, you wear suit now? Because then I used to teach in computer schools too. I put the bag of rice on my head to the bus stop. I didn't pay the malam any longer. There was another time I put the bag of rice on my shoulder to the bus stop. I didn't pay the malam any longer. But am I carrying bag of rice on my head now again? No. It's just for a time. It doesn't matter what people may say about you now. It is the tomorrow that matters. I go to my 12. That's my 12. Carry yam. Sell as a young copper. Even when I started that master's program, I was still selling the yam. Still doing part-time teaching in some homes. But that's a story now. You have a bright future. And God will back you up to get there. In Jesus' name. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mikiwa. I want to believe writing, and we should continue sending in our questions. The number is scrolling on your screen. Please text messages and WhatsApp alone. And I believe we are learning too. While he was talking, he mentioned some things. He said, the future is a prepared place for prepared people. Are you prepared for the future? Am I prepared for the future? He said a lot of things about gold mines. Are you mining the gold? Are you mining gold around you? Or you are just folding your hands? Your future is your personal project. That eats me. Like, my life is my project. And what I can draw from that is we shouldn't blame people for our challenges. What are you doing with the opportunities you have placed in your hands? And one of such opportunities is what we're doing here today. What are you going to do with everything you learn after this event? It is not just an event. It is not because the Rose of Sharon Foundation does not have anything to do and they just want to have an event. No. We want to impart you. But the bulk of the work lies in your hands. After getting the information, what are you going to do with this information? Well, I will take us back to Mrs. Funkelgan. Because I keep asking myself, how does the educational system in this country prepare me for this national development? She's set to give us an explanation on this. So we welcome her on board.
Model for Nigerian youth to help build a solid nation with education acquired over the years. So I wish you come along with me. But foremost, I want to acknowledge my forerunners with reference, Mr. Titope Jegede and Dr. Mekulua. All of us definitely we know that education, what it's all about and why we need it. Though the essence may vary from clime to clime, but the global acceptance includes self-development, actualization of one's goals in life. Education is the life of a nation, individual, and a group of people. It is the life wire of its industries and foundation of moral regeneration and revival of its people. When we now go to the dictionary for its own meaning, it says, education is the process or art of imparting knowledge, skill, and judgment. It is the process of learning in a systematic manner from formal institutions such as schools, colleges, or universities that majority of us have been to. Now, can we move on to the three main types of education that we have in our society? We have the formal education, which is specially done by qualified teachers within walls of school. The issue is technical or occupational certificate, associate degrees, completion of college coursework, bachelor's, master's, doctorate degrees, and professional certificates. We also have the informal type of education, which is not pre-planned, not deliberate. It is done by parents at home. It's a long life process in a natural way. It involves life experiences, just like body talk, and the way our parents will eye us if they want to pass on a message to us without necessarily speaking out. And the last one is the non-formal, which is the adult education, distance learning, home learning, and this one is done deliberately without frame or space. It can be done anywhere. It can be when you are in a group like the boys' brigade, like the girls' brigade, and now let's quickly move to the real goals of education. The real of education, it's a lifelong learner. You've got to be passionate. You've got to be ready to take risks, be able to problem solve, and think critically. You've got to be able to work independently without any supervision, and should be able to work with others. You can't be a loner if you really want to make it in life. You've got to care and you must have desire to give back to the society. And that's exactly what Rose of Sharon is doing today. Rose of Sharon is trying to give back to the society by bringing together youths and those who are experienced in all fields of endeavor to impart on them so that they can be ready to give us a nation of our desire. And now, let's go to the benefits of education to our society. Education, when you have it, not have it, there will be creation of more employment opportunities. You'll be securing a higher income if you're well educated. You'll be able to develop skills to solve problems. You improve the economy of your nation. You provide a prosperous and happy family. When you're well educated, you know what it takes to look after your children. You know what it takes to take care of your husband, your wife, your relatives, and your friends. And education helps you to give back to the community, like I said earlier on, and that's what we are doing now. Then it helps to create a modern society, whether we like it or not. Our society has become a global village. Like I'm not physically at the venue of this program, but we can all be connected. And that is the essence of education. Then education helps to bridge the borders. We can be connected across the length and breadth of the world when you're well educated, when you're well enlightened. You know what obtains in America, you know what obtains in UK, you know what obtains in the UAE, you know the time zones, so that you can keep abreast of what is happening. You don't have to keep awake all the time to want to receive a call or something like that. You know their mode of economy, of exchange of money and stuff like that when you're well educated. And most importantly, the essence of my presence at this forum is the Nigerian youth as a tool to nation building using education. The education you have acquired along the line, how do you put it into use to help develop our country, Nigeria? And these I've put out again. Number one, I said E, that is the spelling of education. One by one, we take it step by step. E for emphasis, you've got to be emphatic in your belief. Whatever you believe in doing, you've got to be emphatic about it. Like when King David, when there was to be, war was to take place, and he was called on, and some people thought that he couldn't do it. But he said, there is a cause. Isn't there a cause for me to be here? Isn't there a cause to be settled? He was emphatic. So whatever you are doing in life, you've got to be emphatic about it. D for desperate. You've got to be desperate for a change. Don't say that where I am, I'm comfortable in it. No, you've got to be desperate about your life. You've got to be desperate to ensure that you have a good nation. Because when you have a good nation, you don't have to go outside the country looking for what is not lost. You get your education and you get everything that you need. You've got to be desperate. And U stands for unite, to change the status quo. And what do I mean by that? To unite is to be able to come together as a body. You can form a group, you can form a society where you can critically think of ideas on how to move yourselves forward so that you don't remain stagnant. You don't remain stagnant. You've got to unite with people. Then there must be a continuous assessment of journey so far. That is C in education, in the spelling of education. Continuous assessment of journey so far. And you know, why are you doing this? You are doing it to be able to remove any impediments to your success. So that as you're going up the ladder, you check every now and then to see how far you have gone. And if there is anything you need to remove to disrupt your goal in life, quickly do it so that you can make progress. And A in education stands for accountability for any step taken for national growth. You've got to be accountable for anything you do in life. Whatever that is put in your care, you've got to be bold to be able to account for it. You've got to be bold to say, okay, I made a mistake. Yes, it's I made a mistake. Not passing the buck to another person. You've got to be accountable. People must count you as a responsible person. And the next one is T, letter T for transparency with others, which is very, very key to nation building. You've got to be transparent in whatever you're doing with people. We have all learnt of one Mr. and Mrs. Ananias and Sapphira. They had a group, and they were to sell all the properties and bring in and have a commonwealth and be able to share amongst each other according to each other's need. But what happened? Mr. and Mrs. Ananias and Sapphira, they sold their house and they came up to lie. No transparency. And what happened? There was disaster. They lost their life. In the process, if you are not transparent in a group that you belong to, a lot of things can go wrong. That is why we have hired assassins in some places where you have a business with other people, and at the end of the day, you breach contract. What happens next? They run after you. That shouldn't be. If you are well educated, you've got to be transparent with other people so that we can have a strong and virile nation. I stand for impartation. Impart on others, just like we are doing now. Whatever education you have acquired along the line, ensure you share with others. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't be selfish. Make sure you impart others so that others can grow and the nation can advance. And O stands for organization. Organize a value chain development. That value chain development helps a lot in whatever we find ourselves to do. In it, we are able to check other competitors in whatever we lay our hands on to do. We are able to check all the opportunities that we can find. We quickly make use of them to our benefit and to the benefit of a nation. We've got to be nationalistic in approach. In whatever you're doing, don't say this is from this ethnic group. I don't want to have anything to do with him or her. This one belongs to a political group. I cannot work with him or her. No. This one belongs to a religious sect. No. No. It shouldn't be. Or this one, has a different cultural background from mine. No. We should all be able to work together as a group, putting aside all differences. That will give us a great country, a great Nigeria, using the education we have acquired along the line. Education is key to national development when you make use of this model that I've just given out to you. Be emphatic in your belief, desperate for a change, unite to change the status quo, continuous assessment of journey so far, accountability for any step taken for national growth, transparency with others, impact on others, organize a value development, and nationalistic approach. Then I have this creed that I always like to share with people to really encourage them. I quickly take it because I know that time
Thank you, Mrs. Funkelga. That was quite impactful. She has opened our eyes to the importance of education, making us see education beyond the classroom's learning alone. Because she gave us the meaning of the word education, and it's far beyond just going to school and getting a certificate. I remember one of the points she mentioned was accountability. And she also said something about being nationalistic in your approach. Well, going through or listening to the three speakers, they said one thing that I realized that they all repeated, and that is change, change, change. And we all know that the only constant thing in life is change. Thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate that.
Change, change, change.
Now, a number of questions have been sent in while the speakers were on. And I'm going to read through the questions. For those in the audience, if you have a question, please signify so that we can call you to answer your question. One of the questions I have here, okay, someone is asking, and the question is to Mr. Jegede. The person said, youth marginalization and national development, are they compatible?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I'll go back to the story I shared about the two guys, the two children from the same father. All right? One refused to focus on the marginalization and the irresponsibility of the father and decided to take responsibility. So we can sit here all day and talk about what is not working for the youth. No doubt that there are so many things stacked against the youth from moving forward. But you have a choice despite all that. And that's the focus of this platform. We are not talking about how we've been marginalized. You heard the story of Dr. Joe. You heard my own story of despite the odds, despite the challenges, we took a stand. We decided to create a new path for ourselves. We had a vision, what we want to turn out for, to be in the future. And that is what is important. So, of course, there is a huge connection between the youth being empowered and the marginalization of the Nigerian environment. But can we focus on the opportunities? You see, what you look for in life is what you will get. If you are focused on the marginalization, the lack of opportunities, the problems, you will always find yourself in problems. When you choose to see the problems as opportunities, then your mind will open up to solution. And once you find a way to solve those problems in the society, then your own situation will change also. Let's focus on the opportunities and stop focusing on the marginalization and the odds against the youth. There are so many things working for the youth, despite all the challenges in Nigeria. And those are the things we are trying to let you see, and then you can cash in on them, and then your life will be better and Nigeria will be better. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I want to believe you have answered the question. Yeah, and I also want to believe that Mrs. Funkelga is still online. A question dropped in for her while she was speaking. I'm going to ask the question, and I believe she should be able to respond to that. The person says, what is the role? Okay, what role does the media play in building up Nigerian youth for national development? And the person further explained that with the feeds we get from the media, how is this feed helping us, directing us, or helping us to focus on national development? We all know that when you have a baby, the growth of the baby is to an extent a product of the feed, what you feed your baby with, what you feed the child with. So the person is saying, what I get from the social media. And the question is directed to her because she's she's a retired media person. So I don't know if she's online. Okay, so Mr. Sokwe Jegede will take that question for us.
So the social media is neutral, all right? the same way money is neutral. Money can be used to buy a bomb, to blow up a bank. Money can be used to transform society. The social media is a platform. What you look for on that platform is what you will get. There are many good content online. There are trainings online. There are life-transforming information online. If you look for those ones and you digest them, they can help you to develop your mind and develop your life. If you go online and you look for junk and you look for things to corrupt your mind, that is what you will get. So the problem is not about the social media. It is about where you go on the social media and what you consume on the social media that will define the outcome of your life. So you have a choice when you go online to go for content that will enrich you and develop your mind and develop your life, or you can go online and digest things that will destroy. But my advice is be deliberate about your interaction online. Be strategic about what you want to go and get online. It's about being desperate for the kind of information that will help you move from where you are to where you want to go to. So we can't blame the social media. It's neutral. You have a choice. Every time you click on that phone or on that laptop, you are taking a choice to either go and consume things that will promote and improve your life or the other way. And it's every moment. As you are sitting down here, you can go online and go to sites that will not enrich your life. It's a choice. And every time you make that choice, you have to take responsibility for that choice. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Just know that, just to add to what Mr. Jegede had just said, in the society, in the office, in the school, in your family, in your business environment, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Even among your friends. Just like he pointed out, it is your choice. Thank you.
All right. It is your choice. It is my choice. What choice have I decided to make for myself? As I said earlier, what parts are you ready to toe? So it's a decision, a personal decision, because our life is our personal project. Your parents can only encourage you, your friends can only encourage you, but the project is in your hands. Thank you, Cyrus. Now, this next question goes to Dr. Mikilua. The person said, Nigerian youths have skills. They are willing to learn. They are willing to make a change, but they struggle because of hunger. And the hunger is blocking the zeal in them. What can you do?
Because of hunger, they cannot. Okay, thank you for the question. I didn't tell you that because I had a focus. The once in a day food I was eating was always in the evening, not in the morning. Even when I was struggling, that once in a day food was always in the evening. Even after from class, around 1 o'clock, I miss the lecture, I go to the town, I trek from Ubo campus to Kewa campus, which is like Ojoleba to Ikeja bus stop, empty tummy, to teach those children. I come back in the evening, around 9 p.m., I will now eat my morning food. So which means that hunger, yes. But do you know that when you have a focus, when you want your life to change, hunger will disappear. Because you know that it is this thing I'm doing that will change the story of my life so that this hunger will no longer be there. I want to encourage you to have what's called self-motivation. Self-motivation is that if I decide now to take this action, it will change my story tomorrow. If I don't take this action now, my story will remain the same. My condition will remain the same. So hunger, yes. All those times I was drinking only water. That's how I know that. Do you know that water is even better than food? I have come to realize. At that time, I was always drinking water. And I was so carrying a cup with plenty water. In the evening, it will be very big. So I want to encourage you, hunger, yes, but first thing first. As you drink plenty water and you are doing that business, as you drink plenty water, you are achieving results, a time will come, you'll be able to solve the hunger problem. And that is for a fact. That hunger problem will be solved. It is when you are hungry and you are not achieving anything, the hunger will remain. Because the solution to the hunger will not come. But when you are doing the right thing that will bring results, that result will eventually help you to quench the hunger in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. I just want to add something to that. Hunger is an emotion. And, there are certain emotions that we run away from and we pray against that can actually help us to take the right decisions for our future. Here's an example. I'm an example. The kind of background we had were like the motivation for us to choose differently. So I'm not going to pray for that person not to be hungry. I remember then that despite the hunger and frustration, I would be walking on the street with books, reading, and my friends would be laughing that you are hungry and you are reading. But they didn't see what I was seeing. What you see about your life will determine the kind of things you will endure that will change your story. So I want to just support what Dr. Joe said, that hunger is good as long as it forces you to make the right choices and take the right decisions to change your life and change Nigeria.
Thank you, sir. Be self-motivated. Hunger is good once you are going to make the best decision when you are hungry. Thank you, sirs. Now I have another question here. Oh, okay. This person is saying, I love agriculture, but the situation of the country, I don't have a land to plant. I need a place to learn more about agriculture. Can the speaker, either of the speakers, suggest to me how to take this passion forward? Thank you.
Okay, all right. So it's the same mold. Whether you are passionate about agriculture or aviation or medicine or accounting, whatever your passion is, there are opportunities for you to express those passions and develop yourself in those areas. Let me give us a website. When Dr. Joe said he has over 1,000 books, I want to give you a free website where you can get over 1 million books free. www.pdfdrive.net. Please write it down. www.pdfdrive.net. There are over 10 million books waiting for you to download and study and read. The same data you will use to watch Davido dancing, use that data to download books on agriculture. Use those same data to download books free of charge. As you are here now, you can begin to, let me give you 5 books, no matter what your passion is, that will help you immediately from this meeting. Number 1 is Who Moved My Cheese? Please download that book today before you go out of this hall. Who Moved My Cheese? Hunger can move your cheese. That's the point I was trying to make. Suffering can move your cheese. Anything that will push you to take a stand to be different and to be better is a mover. So read that book and understand how to generate the kind of passion that will force you to see yourself in a different way and then chart a different path for your life. Number 2, Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich. It's a very powerful book to download also. The outliers. That man that is interested in agriculture, you start from the scratch. Learn the basics. Find a mentor in that area, somebody who is in that space, who is succeeding in that space, and go and be an apprentice to that person. Agriculture is not something you do because you have money. There are many intrigues you need to understand about that space. So go and get somebody who is operating in that space, who has done it for over 10,000 hours. That's the outlier, an expert in that area, and then be an apprentice to that person. And all the other things will unfold. Number 4, the 7 habits of highly effective people. The 7 habits of highly effective people. And number 5, the richest man in Babylon. All these books are free. You can download them from that website. And other topical disciplines that you want to study about, they have different faculties on that site that you can go and download books free. And then before you know it, you have more books than Dr. Joe. 1 million books free waiting for you on your data to download and read. You can read yourself out of your situation. Okay? So that's my answer to that man. There are many opportunities for apprenticeship, for self-development and study, but it needs to start from the scratch. Go under someone who is succeeding in that space and learn under them.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate your response. Here, this person is asking a 2-in-1 question. So one goes to Dr. Joe and the other goes to you. So Dr. Joe, as a growing youth in Nigeria, what is the legit and lucrative platform I can invest in? 1. Then the question to you, sir. Well, this person is saying, Mr. Temitope knows that lucrative skills is, lucrative skills are money-oriented in this country.
I don't understand that.
You want me to build my skills. How do I get money to improve on myself?
Let Dr. Joe go.
Thank you.
Let me start with the legit platform to invest. I teach people financial empowerment and discipline. If you don't know a particular business, it's advisable you read about that business before you can invest in it. But you can start off with, we've had what's called, there's what is called mutual fund. That is, these are organizations, professionals that small investors that have just small amount of money, we hand over to these mutual fund managers, and they will now pull the whole fund together and invest in money market. There are some that are money market plus capital market, equity, but you can say only money market so that your principal can be intact, and they are being monitored and regulated by SEC. And because you are not a professional in investment, it's always better that mutual fund managers are the one managing your fund. And anytime you want your money, you request for it, they will give you back. Because I'm aware, because having worked as a regulator, I know all those things. I will advise that, so that is the one I'm very, very versed with. Because some platforms are not under regulation. So I won't ascribe to that any platform that's not being regulated by any regulator in the country, be very careful. But these ones are being regulated, and the structure is so strong that even the fund managers are not the one holding the money. The money is kept with the custodian bank. It's well regulated. And other investment opportunities, if you know somebody, because these are the areas I've practiced in the past, even up to now. If you know somebody who has a good business and you are working and you cannot do, but you need a kind of passive income, you partner with such a one. First of all, partner with a small amount. And said, every month, I need this profit, this income every month. as I partner with you. You put some amount every month, you are sure that you are getting your monthly income. And you let the person know that anytime I need my capital, I will collect it. Once in a while, test him or her and say, I need the money now. I may want to use it for something. Can I have it? And the money is returned. You know, okay, your money is safe. And you monitor the kind of business he or she is doing. And you know that it has a future, and then money is actually coming from there. These are for those who are working, but they cannot leave their job. They need to have other sources of income. You can partner with reliable people. And I've seen that happen over many years. I practiced it many years, and it worked for me. And the mutual fund issue, because that one, your money is intact, but you need to read their profile and different types of investment they will put your money in, and you will not choose the one that will guarantee your principal plus the whatever is on top on it. For any other platform that is not regulated, I will advise it's a no-go area. Because if they are not regulated by any regulator, either SEC or CBN, which means tomorrow, no regulator will come and check them. And these people that are regulated, when they go under, there is some money to use to settle those that they are owing. So that's why it's always good. Thank you.
All right, can you take the question again just for emphasis?
Okay, let's go back to the question. Sorry. Oh, okay. The person said, you know that
I know already.
Creative skills. Okay. If I have to read directly.
It's all right. Go on.
Mr. Tokwe Jegede knows that lucrative skills in this country is money-oriented.
Okay.
How do I get money to get a lucrative skill?
All right. Thank you very much. What will help is to differentiate between education and academic qualification. Okay? Academic qualification is expensive. For example, I did an MBA with Lagos Business School for 7.3 million naira. That's expensive. It is to qualify for something. So if you are going for academic qualification, it may be very expensive, but it's an investment that you must make. All right? So if you need to save up for it, if you need to get a loan, whatever you need to do to get that education, that academic qualification is important. But this is a risk. Some people have the qualification academically, but they are not educated. They are two different things. Education is not attained until you can apply knowledge to solve problems. And that is something you can learn on your own. So you don't need money to be educated. Education started from your family, if you know. Your parents trained you. Some of the values they trained you with are still useful for you till today. You get trained in church every day, yes or no? Every Sunday is a form of education. You have mentors that counsel you, that give you information and advice. That's a form of education. And you can be deliberate about how you get those information day to day. I just gave you a website where you can get over 10 million books on any issue you are dealing with to read and study yourself into solution. That is free. All you need to get those books, all you need will be data. You don't need so much money. So education is actually free if you are deliberate and strategic about the kind of education you need to solve peculiar problems. Whether it's marital problem, health issues, there are documentaries, there are books that are already out there that you can access free of charge. So I'll give you some of the options. Number one is self-study and learning. It's free for education. And we've talked about that extensively today. Number two is get a mentor. If Dr. Joe is your mentor today, all the 1,000 books he has read, they are all available to you, free of charge. Do you know that? All his experience, 30 years in the industry, they are available to you free of charge. And that's education. So get a mentor to sit over you and show you the secrets of the industry, of the line you have chosen for yourself. Number three is apprenticeship. Go under somebody and serve. The youth of today are not patient enough to learn and serve under anybody. They want quick solution. They're not willing to put themselves on the line and do things with their hands day to day under anybody. Everybody wants to be Oga. They want to blow. If you don't want to blow away, go and find somebody you can study and beyond them. Next is by observation. There are opportunities around you. You need to be strategic in your thinking. Every problem we have been talking about today about Nigeria, they are all opportunities in disguise. You need to be observant. You need to be opportunistic. And that is a form of education. So education is not expensive. Academic qualification may be expensive depending on where you are getting it from. And we need to open our minds to opportunities to be self-educated and to get under people that can also show us the way to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Well, another question came in. The person said, I have an informal education. Of what relevance is this informal education to national development, since Nigeria is a certificate country? So,
Dr. Joe, do you want me to take it? The gentleman that started the law pavilion that I mentioned in my presentation actually is not a lawyer. He got it informally. Okay? So informal education is actually very vital to national development. In fact, everybody should not try to go to school for 4 years to go and learn things that are not relevant. I had political science as my first degree. But when I left Olabisi Onabanjo University, then Ogun State University, I told myself, this is not the way. I went straight to UNILAG to get economics, and then the MBA, and then I created a new path for myself. So many of our courses are not really very useful, so to say, for national development. You need to audit the value of what you are able to contribute based on what you know. So informal education that will help you solve plumbing problems is useful. Right? Plumbing problems are huge issues in Nigeria. People are coming from Togo to come and help us solve plumbing problems. You know that. Even tiling. We are bringing people from Benin Republic to come and tile for us. So informal education that is deliberate to solve specific problems are very useful for national development, and we cannot take it for granted. But if it is possible, if you are going to pursue a career, you need those academic qualifications.
Yeah, let me add to what my brother just said. Skill acquisition is very important. We know many today in this country that didn't go to the university, but they are solving people's problem, and money is coming in. What you now do is, just like he pointed out, learn under people, get the skill, and ensure that you are doing the right thing when solving people's problems. Then, people can move from anywhere to come and patronize you, irrespective of whether you went to school or not. But the issue is that informal education you have, can you use it to solve problems? If you cannot, go extra mile to acquire skill that can solve problems. That is why many people have a friend who read law. This person is a caterer. And we also have people who didn't go to school that are also caterers, isn't it? Do you know that the skill to make good food is what we are looking for here? So the person who read law had to go under somebody who didn't even go to school to know the art of cooking those kind of menu. And today, she's living by that food, whatever. Many people move from far places to come to her restaurant to eat. Mark you, it is not the law she read that is helping her. It is the informal education she got from somebody that did not even go to school, but has a good restaurant, and she was doing well, and that is it. So add to that informal education skill. Add to that skill good service. Because even if you are my sister, I go to a restaurant and there is fly everywhere, I will not patronize you. That is service. Skill, service. Thank you.
All right. I think the last question I have here, I don't know, do I have anyone with any question among the audience? Any question? Or we have sent, oh, you have a question. Okay. I'll come to you after this question. Please, can we get a mic for him? Yeah, someone said, what effects does brain drain among youth have on national development? Does the word brain drain, does it have an effect on our national development? So, I want to look in your direction.
All right. Just to point out something about that informal education question. Somebody that you can actually observe is one of the richest men in Nigeria, Mr. Cosmas Maduka. He's the owner of Charis. All right? He got his education informally through apprenticeship. Today he's one of the richest men in Nigeria, Cosmas Maduka. You can check him out on Google and read his biography and his profile. And I've been under his sessions before, and he'll tell you that apprenticeship thing, it works, especially for the Igbo brothers that sell spare parts. He started selling spare parts. When he was graduating, he didn't get anything in return. But he said he learned the values and the secret of the business. And from one spare part shop to the other, he's the owner of Charis. Everybody that knows Charis knows the value is worth billions of dollars, step by step. So I'm not saying everybody must go to classroom 9 to 5. But if that's the part, they get the best education and academic qualification. But there are opportunities for you to also grow and develop your mind through apprenticeship. Find somebody you can serve, because there is glory in service. So coming back to that question, brain drain. My own position is that nobody can drain my brain without my consent, right? You cannot drain. If you don't engage me, I will engage myself. So the youth that talk about brain drain is because you are not opening your eyes to opportunities to explore what you know and find value for yourself. So you can say that brain drain is there. People are not employed. People are not committed to anything to deploy what they know. So they have to look outside. But in Nigeria, all our problems are opportunities for you and for your brain. If your brain comes alive, you apply your brain to a problem, you can become the richest youth you can ever think of. So nobody can drain your brain without your consent. Find your own place. It's about positioning. Position yourself for where you want to be. Learn all the things you need to learn to get there and apply what you know. The reason people are actually drained mentally is because everybody is looking for 9 to 5 job. So people say, I studied this thing, I've not been engaged, so I don't have anything doing, and they just sit down. You are draining yourself. Find where you can plug in. If it is popcorn, you need to learn how to roast very well and add something that will make you stand out. It's called unique value proposition. That unique value can make you the biggest popcorn merchant in Nigeria. And as I said, 21 million people in Lagos alone is a big market for your popcorn. So find a way to plug in your brain and find a solution to any problem around you, and then your brain will come alive and nobody can drain it. All right? But I agree that there are many people that are not committed, they are not used, they are not engaged, and there seem to be a waste in human talent in Nigeria. But those talents can be deployed where they can be useful. And they can apply those talents to solve problems. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So the question from the audience, please. Can you have the mic, please?
Good afternoon. I'm Izala Austin. My question is to Mr. Jegede on youth engaging themselves in politics. I studied political science.
So we are colleagues.
Yeah, colleagues. And I have this phobia for Nigerian politics. Why? Because the dangers in it. I've heard you say it several times that we should have a mentorship. Now, in Nigerian politics, the fear and the dangers I see in it where you're inside is alarming, because I see young people are scared of it because the older one we have there, what they do to scare you away is alarming. And if you say I should have a mentor in Nigerian politics, do you know that if I have a mentor and probably I started moving forward in politics, the loyalty to that person will be more. And we have seen in Nigeria where you want to be loyal to, even when they are not doing it right, you want to be that loyal to them. And I don't like those things. So I've joined a political party once, but when I see these things, there was one young guy in my area that formed a party, and within a short time, I said within a short time, that guy is no more. Sincerely. And they have a lot of youth that follow that guy. I want to tell you that party today, I think that party is the dead party. And these are youths that want to join politics. And when we see these things, we run away. And the next one is...
So what's the question on that one?
The question is, what do we do as a youth? How do we face this challenge? How do we remove this fear from us and pursue that vision to be either a president or a governor in Nigerian politics? That's my question number one.
Thank you.
Now, the next thing I want to ask is to two of you. If we are pursuing, as a youth, we are pursuing national development, now what does Nigeria have for us as youth? If so many of us have gone to school and become graduates, and yet we are saying we should go and develop skill, which is not a bad one, a good one. Then what does Nigeria have for us? If I study political science, I cannot work in the local government or in the ministry, then why did I go to school? Why didn't I just leave the school and go and know how to prepare popcorn or any other thing? Why did I go to that school? What does Nigeria have for youth, the graduates, and so many people that have gone to school? That's my question.
Thank you.
So should I answer the first one on politics first? All right. So the political environment in Nigeria is not different from any other part of the world, right? Whether you go to Kenya, Uganda, even in the US, we saw all the drama with Trump and the last election. So you always have the intrigues of politics because you are dealing with human beings. And Aristotle says, since you know politics, that we are the most complicated entity ever. We are so complicated. We can't predict how we behave. But to now answer your question specifically for Nigeria, there's so much darkness, right, in the political space. But I want to ask you, you're a Christian. What's the value of light without darkness? Is there any value for light when there is no darkness? Absolutely not. So the more the darkness in the political space, the more they call for your light. And until you shine, the darkness will persist. The more the lights run away from darkness, the more darkness will persist. So every complaint you have given today about the Nigerian political space is an opportunity for lights to shine. And the light shines in darkness. Or where? Where is it going to shine? In light? Will the light shine in light? The light will shine where? In darkness. And darkness will do what? Comprehend it not. So stick with it. Values attract values. So don't just get a mentor. Get the mentor with your kind of values, godly values. And we have many of them. Professor Yemi Osinbajo is one. He's my own mentor. And when he was going into politics in 2015, these are the comments he made. That talk about light shines in darkness. It is a war between good and bad. The last town hall we had before this last election, after his 4 years, I asked him the question in the hall, and I said, 4 years we had belief, we had hope when you were going in there. All your beliefs, all your position about many things, what's happening? And he said, Tokpe, it is a war between good and bad, but we are confident that good will prevail, but we don't know when. Do you understand? So don't be perturbed, don't be confused about the darkness. It is an opportunity for us as children of God to shine the light of Christ, and darkness what? Will flee. But we don't know when it will happen. But let us stay there. That's the answer that I have for you.
Yeah, about education. I just want you to listen to this. I see education as the training of the mind that will lead to creative thinking. I repeat, I see education as the training of the mind that will lead to creative thinking. That is why your friends you finished primary school with that did not go to the university, the way you think is not the way they think, is it not? You can see that having passed through the 4 walls of the university, it has changed the way you think. If you go to your village and now see those guys that you had primary school with, that didn't go to school, their level of thinking is different from you. So first, education trains your mind that will now enable you to have creative thinking. And that is why I believe that because I read computer science does not mean I will forever work as a computer scientist. I only use that to train my mind, and thereafter, actually, what actually took me to the different countries of the world was not the computer science I read. It was because I decided to become chartered stockbroker and become very deep in capital markets. So the computer knowledge helped a bit, but it was the capital market I delved into that made me to become the technical chairman for the whole Africa linkage, technical chairman for the whole West Africa. You see, I have been in many countries where I will be the only person representing the whole Africa. But mark you, I read computer science. But having gone to school, my mind is trained. When my mind is trained, I could now think more than my friend who didn't go to the university. Because my mind is trained, I could now do the buying of yam to sell because I want to further. You can see the way my mind was thinking. I could now sell rice the way my mind was thinking. If I tell you different things I have done to stand in life, including fish pond making, fish pond management, to stand in life because I hate poverty, having known that I was once there. You see, the education just transform your mind that you think differently. Any environment you are, you have seen different things others are not seeing. Even in my working life, I had a barber shop. In my working life, I had the pure water industry. In my working life, I had the Danfo bus in Lagos. You might be surprised to know even today, I still have buses in the town. I still have what they call courier services. But what made me to start thinking like that? I have lab bus. Mine is among those fleets. But what made me to start thinking like that? If money is not coming from this way, creatively, money will come from this way. Do you not see? Creatively, money will come from this way. Creatively, money will come from this way. That is the essence of going to school. For your mind to be transformed. For ideas to start coming. So when you are in an environment, people are saying no salary, no job, nothing. Your mind is, schools are at home. Your mind will say, can now arrange home lesson for people. Oh, there is nothing. You want to keep on thinking. Scan your environment. What are the problems they have? Your mind will be thinking, how can I now look at this problem and key into it, and income will come? And others are crying. That is the essence of going to school. So education trains your mind to be able to have creative thinking across your environment for income generation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Wow, that was wonderful. Yeah, it has been a journey so far, and an interesting one, I must say. And I want to believe we have all learned one thing or the other. Take this home. Education is a mind opener. It's to help our creativity. The development of our country is in our hands. What are you willing to give back to the country? Closing your eyes to the challenges and seeing the opportunities in those challenges. At this point, I want to say a very big thank you. Oh, okay. One of our speakers has a closing remark.
Before you close, I want to give you 4 questions to take away. Okay, 4 questions. When you come to a seminar or a webinar like this, always ask yourself 4 questions. From all the information shared so far, what do I need to start doing? Something that I've not been doing before. For example, I want to start reading at least 2 books a month. Something I have never been doing. But knowing what I know now, I want to take decisions to start doing those things. That's the first question. Knowing what I know now, what do I need to start doing? Number 2, knowing what I know now, what do I need to stop doing? Maybe I need to stop sleeping 9 hours a day. Right? Maybe I need to stop visiting on edifying websites, wasting my data, so that I can start going online to read and develop my mind. So there are things you need to stop doing, habits, behaviors that are not moving you forward, friendships that are not moving you forward. What do I need to stop in my life to move forward? Number 3, knowing what I know now, what do I need to do less? I may not need to eradicate them completely, but I need to reduce the amount of time I spend doing those things and the intensity. What do I need to do less? And number 4, what do I need to do more? There are some things you are doing well now, but if you intensify them, you develop them, they will lead to positive outcomes for you. Anytime you read a book, ask those questions. When you go to church and you listen to the word of God, ask those questions. Those questions will form the foundation for change and transformation for you, and then you can add value to Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, at this point, we want to draw the curtain. I'll start by saying a very big thank you to the founder of this foundation, the pioneer of this vision for creating this platform, so that we all can learn for free. We're not paying for this. And she sees this as a vision. And I want to believe that we're keyed into it, and it's going to impact, it has impacted us, and we want to see changes. Thank you so much. We want to say a very big thank you to Apostle Folorunso Alakija. Thank you, ma. We appreciate you for this platform. Also, another big thank you to our guest speakers. Yes, without you, we might not have been able to go on this journey for this long. You have opened our eyes to a number of things, and we have learned so much. And we're sure that at this point, our life is going to take a new shape. Thank you, sirs. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming. And I also want to say a very big thank you to the team, to the cameraman, the IT team, the computer team, the Rose of Sharon staff. We say a very big thank you to you all. Thank you for putting in so much effort so that we can all learn. My name is Stella Oyeshile, the Administrative Officer of Rose of Sharon Foundation. Thank you, and God bless you.